So what's going on, Trucketeers? The Truck Guy here. Wanted to get back to you with another review, and today we are doing it. We are doing the Toughbuilt Scraper Utility Knife. This has definitely made the rounds on some of the utility knife and construction channels, and I had to do it. I couldn't help myself. I watched a couple of these reviews that I thought really were lacking when it came to reviewing the Toughbuilt Scraper Utility Knife, and it just seemed like some of these other channels, they just don't understand utility knives the way that we do. And as you guys know, this is the #1 channel for utility knives on YouTube. So you come to the source, you've got to figure out what's going on with a certain knife. Definitely check out the Truck Guy channel first, because we're going to have the best information for you and the most comprehensive reviews to get it to you quickly and not, babble on too much, although we do from time to time. If we see something, we say something. That's what it's all about. But let's go ahead and jump into the review, and let's do it. Alright, so we've got model number TB H4S5-01. That does not exactly roll off the tongue, but we'll cut Toughbuilt a break because they're coming at us with a pretty cool tool. So as you can see here, we've got, well, let's start with the utility knife. Then if we throw this open again, it rotates, and we've got a scraper. We can go back to the knife here by just flipping up and down between scraper and knife. And then when you've got your knife, you can just press this button and retract the knife in. So then you're good to throw it in your pocket and whatnot. So pretty cool packaging here by Toughbuilt. I can definitely see why this is going to catch people's eye. It looks like, they've got a patented switch to flip the blade. That's great that that's patented. Doesn't seem overly unique, but we'll give it to them. Then they're just highlighting the utility knife and the scraper blade. Kind of same instructions on back. It looks like it's got a quick change, so we'll check that out. We'll see what else is going on here. They're hooking us up with 5 blades as well. So let's go ahead and get this thing out of the packaging, because I'm just getting more and more curious in terms of what we have going on here. So I'm going to enlist the Master Force. If you haven't checked out this knife, I just did a review on it. Definitely check it out. I'll link it up above. So we'll go ahead and just jump in here, get our Toughbuilt out. And I did a little bit of digging into Toughbuilt, and it doesn't look like they're owned by a parent company or anything of that nature, so kind of a little bit different than what we might see from Stanley Black & Decker, which owns DeWalt and Craftsman, pretty much every other utility knife under the sun except for Milwaukee. So kind of interesting that Toughbuilt is getting into the utility knife game, not with kind of the backing of one of the big players. So I'm definitely supportive of that. I like innovation, certainly like Toughbuilt, trying to come up with something to throw a wrench into, the industry. And as you guys know, we're always looking for the best knife, so we're not going to get there without companies like Toughbuilt coming in and shaking things up. So I definitely like that. Although, got to be honest, guys, Toughbuilt is making it pretty dang hard to get their utility knife blades out of the packaging. This is some intense packaging from Toughbuilt. So I don't know if they're wanting to throw some shade on the Master Force, or if they're just, wanting to show us that we need utility knives in our lives. I don't know. But we finally got the packaging off the Toughbuilt, and we'll set the packaging aside. So, first things first, in the hand, this is actually feeling good. We'll set the Master Force aside. I just like the way this feels in the hand. I think Toughbuilt, this isn't very ergonomic, but it's got one, position here for your index finger, and it's got kind of a rubberized grip on either side. that feels really good in the hand. I'm surprised. I mean, you know, again, not ergonomic, but just feels like the way it should. I mean, it's a little big, it's a little bulky, but it's actually pretty light and just kind of flies around in your palm. So I'm loving what I'm seeing from Toughbuilt out of the gates here. So definitely nice job with this body style. And one of the other cool things is it's got kind of a, you know, a little leverage bar on the back here. You know, you could call that a paint can opener, but you know, how often are we actually painting? You know, it's every once in a while. So I view this as more, you know, as a little pry bar if you've got to get something up and out. Just another, you know, another type of tool that we're adding to the utility knife. Some more utility for the utility knife. And just another thing to jam in there. Another tool that you're getting, you know, when you've got the Toughbuilt on you. So I'm liking that for sure. Little lanyard loop on back, but let's get to the meat of it, guys, and jump into it. So for the actual utility knife, you know, the only thing I'm not loving is this is large and the blade is, you know, rather small. So for precision jobs, you know, it's got a nice button here on the side that's rubberized, so you can get kind of down into what you need, but at the same time, you know, comparatively speaking, if you bring out the Master Force, this is just a lot more nimble in the hand as it compares to the size of the blade. Whereas with the Toughbuilt, I mean, it's just a lot bigger here. The blade is, you know, obviously standard size, so it's just a different feel. But I would say for those bigger, tougher jobs, cutting up carpet, you know, opening bags of mulch, even, you know, frankly, cutting up Amazon boxes, I mean, you can probably rip through some stuff with this. And the nice thing about this knife is, you know, you're going to set it down, you're going to know where it is. It's not going to slide into a crack, and it's not going to, you know, wiggle its way under something. With this rubberized grip and, you know, with the size and bulk of this knife, it's going to stay put. So this is, you know, this is a knife that you're going to have out and ready to go. And, you know, in terms of that slider, that flies up and down real easy. You know, you're not going to have your two positions up to full extension. It's kind of one and done. So you're either fully retracted, fully extended, and obviously you've got your scraper on there too, but it flies up to full extension. So, you know, I personally don't use those two positions up to full extension. So this, for me, would be fine. I'm going up and down, and, you know, I don't really need to worry about what's in between. So, you know, that rockets out, and you've actually got access to a heck of a lot of blade there. You know, compared to the Master Force, I mean, you're getting, as you can see, a good chunk more blade exposure. So that's also an advantage. I mean, it's going to be a little hard to access that because it's, you know, a little bit down there next to the housing, but certainly that's a potential benefit. So take it for what it's worth. And then you've got the scraper functionality. So the other big thing about this is we go up with our knife, we press up again, and we've got that scraper functionality. And, you know, I did watch some reviews where some people were just freaking out and melting down about, you know, what they could use the scraper for, whether it's going to be as good as a traditional scraper, etc., etc., etc. And it kind of bugged me a little bit because I think where Toughbuilt is going with this is it's not so much that you want this to replace your daily scraper. Certainly it could. If you like it, go for it. But it's got a certain angle to it as well. So the real advantage I see to this Toughbuilt utility knife is that so often when you're working on a project, you're going to be cutting things, and then all of a sudden you need to, you know, say get something off. Not necessarily a sticker, so don't get stuck on stickers, guys. But you might have a little piece of wood, something that you just can't quite get the angle with, your utility knife like this. So I see some big advantages to flipping over to the scraper and just being able to go at it from a different angle. So the big, the big thing I've seen with other reviews is they just can't get their head around the fact that this scraper is not meant to take the place of your everyday scraper. It's just sometimes you've got to come at things from a different angle. And this Toughbuilt scraper utility knife is doing exactly that. It's just giving you another angle to what you're going to go ahead and do, whatever job you need to tackle. That's where this comes into play. So I'm absolutely loving this. I think, Toughbuilt hit the nail on the head in terms of innovation. And, I'm definitely going to have this on me if I've got any tough, unique jobs that I need that scraper for, because I don't always want to have, a second, a third, a fourth tool on me. The big advantages to utility knives and tools like this is they can tackle a couple jobs at once. Not to mention, you've got this pry bar on back, which I'm liking. I think that'll come in handy. So we can't, go any further without checking out the quick change, though, because that can be make or break. So you press this button up top. And let's see. Oh, you actually slide it to the side. I thought you pressed it down, but you slide it to the side. And then that blade flies out. So let's go ahead and try to put it back in. And little movement there, but it goes in really easy, and there's a little wiggle and a little wobble there, even probably a little bit more than I'm used to seeing, but I mean, that holds in there well. It's easy to get in and out. I also saw in a couple reviews some negativity surrounding the quick change in terms of, lining it up correctly. You definitely need to make sure you've got it on the line and that it fits in there, but, unless you're an amateur when it comes to utility knives, that's just standard practice. You've got to make sure your blade's securely in place, and then you go. So take the extra second, make sure it's in place, and that's that. The additional thing is the proprietary blades. So when you're working with a scraper utility knife, not surprisingly, these blades are unique because you need a place to hold your scraper as well. So not only do you need your points to secure to for your normal utility knife function, but you also need the area for the scraper. So I haven't checked out the price. I'll drop it in the description box just to make sure, we're not getting killed here on utility knife blade prices, but certainly with what's being offered here, it makes sense that it's, a unique proprietary blade. You're going to have to pick those up from Toughbuilt, but what do you expect? The normal Stanley blades are just not set up for scraping functionality for a knife like this. So that's that. No blade storage. I don't see any blade storage on here, so I think we're out of luck there. You're going to have to bring, your pack of blades with you, throw them in the toolbox, have them on the tool bench, what have you. But it's going to be something a little special with the proprietary blades, but, it is what it is. If that's where the utility knife industry goes, we're going to see more and more blades like that that are out there. So, with innovation comes, some hassle from time to time, for sure. So overall, I'm really liking what I'm seeing from Toughbuilt. I did pick this up on Amazon. It was $21.99, so it is going to be on the more expensive side. But I kind of feel like for what you're getting, you're getting something pretty cool, and you're just, slightly above that $20 threshold. A lot of times we'll see utility knives for, $14-15, and they don't have anything special about them. So, I think this is certainly something that, you should pick up if you like what you're seeing. I think I'm actually going to use it more than I thought I kind of picked it up as a novelty, but I see that scraper functionality coming in handy just where you've got those weird jobs where you need to, get a little bit different angle at something, and it could be a variety of things. So you just don't know what you're going to tackle with your utility knives. So that's it. Please like, please subscribe. I hope you enjoyed the review. Definitely check out Toughbuilt because I had not heard of them before. But that's it. We'll talk to you on the next video.